Big life changes don't usually feel big. They don't announce themselves. They don't feel dramatic. Most of the time, they feel invisible. That's why people quit good habits early. They expect something loud, but change works quietly. Psychology explains this. Most people believe change requires motivation, intensity, or discipline, but psychology shows something different. Real change happens through repetition, not effort. Not through big actions, but through small behaviors done consistently. That's why habits matter more than goals. Psychologists call this automaticity. When a behavior is repeated enough times, your brain stops treating it as a decision. It becomes automatic. This is controlled by the basal ganglia, the part of the brain responsible for routines. Once a habit forms, your brain uses less energy to perform it. That's why habits feel easy over time. Early habits feel pointless. You study for 20 minutes, nothing changes. You read daily, no visible improvement. You sleep on time, still tired. This happens because of delayed rewards. Your brain struggles to value outcomes that arrive later. Psychologists call this temporal discounting. The effort is now. The reward is later. So your brain underestimates progress, but the change is still happening, silently. Habits don't grow linearly. They grow exponentially. Tiny actions stack. Small improvements compound. At first, results are invisible. Then suddenly, they're obvious. That's why habits feel slow until one day they don't. Here's the real power of habits. They don't just change what you do. They change who you believe you are. When you repeat a behavior, your brain updates identity. I'm someone who studies. I'm someone who shows up. I'm someone who keeps going. Psychologists call this self-perception theory. You believe yourself through your actions. Motivation is emotional. Habits are mechanical. Motivation depends on mood. Habits depend on structure. When behavior becomes automatic, you no longer need to convince yourself. You just act. That's why habits feel calm. They remove internal resistance. Simple habits don't change your life overnight. They change it quietly, without pressure, without force, without burnout. You don't need intensity. You need consistency. And when habits become automatic, progress stops feeling heavy. That's when growth feels easier. See, it's easy.